Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's OpenONU Go call. Thanks for joining. As usual, the call is public and recorded and will be shared live on YouTube, so please be mindful of the comments you make and the information you share with the group. First of all, for today's agenda, I have just to mention that we have successfully released, as of this morning, the 2.7 release of Volta. Which included all the announcements that we made to the OpenONU adapter. And also thanks to Michael, a last minute documentation around the system software upgrade of the ONU. So that's good. I know there were some constraints in relationship to the software upgrade of the ONU. So we will take care of those in the upcoming month, and we'll make sure to fix everything also on that side. But the release is out. I think it's a very good release in terms of reconciliation capability and new features and things like that. So we have achieved many of our milestones. I've added the roadmap down here. We'll discuss that later to see if what we need to do for 2.8. But before that, I just want to make sure that some of the elements we talked about in the past few meetings are done. So, Michael, you mentioned the fact that you were working on a delete of images from the adapter, so that we don't, I guess, overload the adapter with stale images.
With failed or correct images, it doesn't matter. But I did not get to this task, so I haven't started that.
Okay, no, that's fine. I don't think it matters too much for the release. It's not of the highest priority either. But it's just something to keep in mind that in the end we should probably do. But it might come as part of the announcements to the software update that we're talking about. So I'll revamp that discussion as soon as I can, the first few weeks of April. The other one, maybe given that Holger is on vacation, there were some ONUs that were left in the device list after the deletion. This has been, as far as I know, fixed within the 2.7 release. That is correct, right?
Yes, that's also my understanding. Torsten may also make his commitment for that. Yeah, I think there was a late fix for that solved the issue.
Yes, and I can acknowledge this.
Okay, perfect. That's great. And a little bit of an update on the testing side of things. Torsten, this comes maybe back to you. How is the PM counters test?
Yes, I'm
proceeding.
I made some progress there. Today I have the first test with interval tests, and it looks good. So I can check next time the counters and all the other values.
Okay, that's good. And we can add it to the existing jobs.
Currently not. It's not so good that I can publish it.
Oh yeah. I would say in the future, whenever it's ready.
Yes, of course.
Okay. And have you encountered any issues in relationship to the functionality itself that we should be aware of?
I have a small issue for Girish. I sent him this today, and
maybe I should mention that Girish will be on leave for some time for personal reasons. So I would suggest that for the next 3 weeks, anything that goes to Girish, it's better sent to me or Matteo.
Okay.
So if you have a personal inquiry for him, just send it over to me or Matteo, because Girish is not going to be available. He will eventually come on, but me and Theo are going to be the ones taking care of business, especially features and things like that. So just send it over to us, and we will take care of it, or prioritize it accordingly and wait until Girish comes back, depending on the requirements there. Have you created a Jira for it, Torsten?
No, it's only a wording problem, not
okay.
It's very small.
Okay, then send it to me or Theo, and I can take care of it.
But I will do it on Tuesday when I will back.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Even myself, I have holiday on Monday, so we'll be back on Tuesday. That's okay. Okay. To be honest, I have not made any investigation on the timestamp of the Kafka bus. I know you created a Jira issue. I just need to find the number because I forgot about that, and put it here. And maybe we can check. I can check with Ken, and I can check with a few other folks about this. Do you remember the number of the Jira, Torsten?
Not yet, because I have my old notebook here, not the actual notebook.
Okay, that's fine. See if I can find it like this. No, okay. I'll put the Jira ticket that you created here. Any update on this interval in seconds? I don't think we have any, but
I don't have any. It's a theme of world control.
okay. Maybe Girish will take care of this. Okay. On relationship to the data plane testing with the continuous ping, this is something that Hardik will work on. And we have some thoughts about how to do it, and but that's going to be in the future. We'll get done. So that is okay. And we are not seeing the multi-OLT reconcile issues due to the hanging of the PM resources in etcd, right? That's solved.
It's solved, right?
Perfect.
And the next one is also solved.
Great. This is good news. Okay. Is there anything else you're working on in terms of tests that should be made aware of to the group?
I don't know. We have a very small sporadic issue in the multi-OLT environment, very seldom. I think Michael has addressed this issue already in Slack, but it's not so urgent. So we will solve it in 2.8.
Can you remind me what this one is?
The problem is related to, in the end, in the robot test case, the issue is that the authentication is not seen in ONUs. And the reason for that is some unfortunate sequence of the reconcilement of the ONU adapter, in which phase the RW core is already configuring according flow requests, flow add requests, or the OLT adapter already sends the tech profile configuration, which is not accepted in that state of the ONU adapter. So in my point of view, there is a different story already ongoing with what's his or her name? Maninder Singh.
Maninder, yes, yes.
Maninder Singh, there is a story ongoing to have a reconcilement state, device state in the RW core. And perhaps that can be used in some direction to synchronize the flow and tech profile configuration to the ONU adapter only when the ONU adapter has finished the reconcilement.
Okay.
So my hope is that it may be solved more or less based on that change.
Okay. I scheduled the discussion of this change at the next TST, so next Tuesday, to make sure that we all agree what's the scope of it. I'll make sure to keep this in mind. It's good to know that we can use this possibly this state. Okay, good. The ONU software update test, that is actually done. It's actually running in our Jenkins infrastructure. Hardik took care of it, and it's based on the existing set of APIs, which, as we know, might get some improvements, but at the moment, we wanted to test it for the 2.7 release, and we have achieved that. So I think we are in pretty good shape in that sense. And we will have this, and we keep this verified nightly. It's done on BBSim. One of the next steps would be to have it on hardware. Unfortunately, we don't really have an image for us to try it nightly on our test jobs. So we will have to work on getting a working image that has an incremental patch set that works with our software, because changing it with the same image could yield some issues. So we'll just get this done at some point during the 2.8 release. That's not as urgent as other things. Okay, before we go to the 2.8 roadmap,
sorry, Andrea.
Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
Some remark for that. Perhaps at least I think that there is some planning to update also the Atran OLT adapter to the 2.7 release, end of April or something like that. And if this is done, then we can also use the Atran OLT-based labs in order to test that. I think they are also equipped with some Atran 6.11 or 4020 ONU, and at least I know that there are some images for that, and perhaps we can try to test it in that environment at least.
So that would be very good in my opinion. In the community pod in Berlin, I do not have any Atran ONU. We could look at possibly adding them. That would be a good thing to do. And that could enable us to try it out on the 2.7 test, on the 2.7 release with the Atran OLT and ONU.
Yeah.
So a point for myself.
Also, yeah, for sure. But anyway, we also have according test labs on Atran site, and perhaps we can use them as well for initial tests. But anyway, of course, the ONF test beds should be prepared also in that way.
Yep. So I'll ask DT if they can plug in some more news in the Atran OLT. Atran ONUs in the Atran OLT in the Berlin pod. That's a good point. And if you guys have some further tests that you can do in your labs, that's good as well. Okay. So as I said before, we go to the OpenONU Go roadmap for 2.8. Is there anything that any of you guys is working on that might be worth mentioning here that I've not mentioned anywhere else? Or we can also do this after the roadmap.
So I have a question on
Go ahead,
the image management in the OpenONU adapter. Because as of now, when you upload an image, you basically link it to a device. But I can imagine that the same image will go potentially to multiple devices. So maybe when we talk about cleaning up the image, we can review that structure so that you can have images and you can then say, activate this image on this device.
Yes.
So you don't have to upload the same image multiple times.
Yes, Theo. So that's a very good point. That is already part of some thoughts that I have given to the software upgrade APIs in general. There is some proposals in the Volta Protos. Sorry, I'm looking for the patch. There we go. So there is this my suggestion of how I would deal with the image stuff, image related stuff, based on the learnings we have done with the implementation of this. I've, again, as I said, I've added here, and that includes some of what you were saying, Theo. Basically, what I envisioned there is decoupling completely the concept of the image and the device up until you actually put it on the device. So there is a set of APIs to manage the image, like, okay, this is an image, download it, get it from there and store it. But up until that point, that image is not tied to any device. And then there are two APIs to download the image to the device and commit it and activate it on the device itself. So it's a completely valid point. If you have some time, just maybe go ahead and take a look at my protos and see if, based on your experience implementing it on BBSim, those make sense.
I'll take a look. I was not aware of the Jira.
Yeah, but be aware that even if the Vault Control APIs are at the moment related to the concerned device ID, ONU device ID, the download is really handled quite independent of the download seen from the OpenONU adapter is handled quite independent of the device ID. So if you have downloaded the image once for one device, you can use that image already for activating that on different ONUs of that type.
Oh, okay, that's good. So you, as of now, you can basically do that. It's just not super explicit in the APIs.
Yes.
Yes, exactly, precisely.
Okay, great.
So from an API perspective, you always see the image tied to a device, as you said before. But then from an implementation perspective, Michael has hidden the capability of reusing the same image for multiple devices within the adapter. Okay. So for the roadmap, what I did was I got the 2.7 roadmap, and I've taken this, it's the same document actually, and just renamed it 2.x roadmap and added that 2.8 section. So so these are the things that I know top of my head that we would have to do in 2.8, and see if anybody has any thoughts about this before we go forward. 2.8 is targeted end of June, and the idea is for have 2.8 as a long-term support release. And to do that, we would have to achieve some requirements put in place by the operators. We are discussing with the operators these elements, and I will be presenting them at TST as soon as we have a finite set of bullets. We already have the Deutsche Telekom ones. We just have to get the Turk Telekom ones, but I think we're in pretty good shape to get them and get a good list. So from the ONU adapter, I think there are some leftovers from what I aimed to achieve in 2.7, and some of that didn't get in. It's fine, it's minor stuff, but I still like to get it done. One of them being the internal error handling. So that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to do is the storing of unknown MEs. That's something that, while not of the highest priority, I think it's very valuable to have, and also would solve some of would allow us to have a better templating capability. The other one is the multiple uni investigation. That's something that was of interest of Deutsche Telekom and also Turk Telekom. So maybe that capability is important to do. Then some missing performance monitoring elements, especially NEG implemented for TXRX, and also fetch the ONU capability for these counters and some of the VoltCTL format that we were talking about. Incremental changes to the software update, meaning a change in the protos, and also, if it's possible, Michael, here I'm really looking to you, the capability to get the ONU support for extended OMCI frames, if I'm understanding that correctly. So we can push the image faster.
Yeah, some interesting topic. I think we will need the help of Chip in the OMC libgo for that.
Yeah, that would be very major. So I don't know if I have that much time to support it.
Okay. When you say that would be very major, could you elaborate a little bit on why?
Once you go to extended frames, I'd have to check to see if you can do just a few message types as extended frames. But if you have to do all of them, then you're talking about every request and response, all the formatting of those message types. So I'll go ahead and as an action item, I'll look to see if we can just do, if it's valid in the messaging to be able to do both types at once.
Okay, that would be good, Chip. Thanks for the analysis there.
Yeah, because obviously you have to negotiate it to see if the other side supports it. So there is the concept of seeing whether it works or not, and I'll just have to see how valid it is to just do download image related ones.
Yeah,
okay.
to do the okay.
And that would definitely scope it. So
yeah, I can. Yeah, perhaps I don't know. It might be time critical, but yeah, the image download frames might be relevant here, but maybe also the MIP upload frames to accept frames and web upload case. So these both functions are mostly critical for the OMC transfer.
Yeah, doing the MIP upload, that might be more significant to the OpenONU device adapter itself instead of the frame type, because you can do multiple MEs within that message. So it's actually it probably puts more burden onto the ONU adapter than the frame types, but that would be a candidate as well. And probably related to both of those is we probably would want to make sure we support the stop and wait protocol correctly, because right now it's just a message queue that depends on response coming back.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah,
is a little bit independent aspect, I guess.
yeah, and actually, if we supported the stop and wait protocol, that might help a little bit with interoperability, because I know CIG had ran into an issue at one time because I didn't have it properly done in the Python code, and we corrected that. But if the stop and wait is handled correctly, then we can also make use of not requesting a response to the Kafka RPC for an OMCI request and response. So that might speed up downloads even with the baseline format.
Okay. So these are the things that came to mind and were the leftovers of 2.7. And that includes some of the tests, concluding the performance management test, doing some get set external OMCI values, testing the announced error, possibly if we supported the multi-ONU testing, the stores of the unknown MEs, and do this on hardware as we talked about before, and possibly with the new APIs, and test it with the race conditions turned on. That's something that David suggested a few weeks back, and we have not get to in 2.8, but in 2.7, but we might get to do it in 2.8. But these are the things that came to my mind, and as per understanding the operators requirements, these are the things that most likely we will have to do in this release. Is there anything that I've missed that you guys know about?
Hi, Andrea. Hi,
Hey,
everyone. I reckon we can add wall 2296 into the roadmap. It is about to install traffic descriptor ME in the OpenONU adapter.
Sorry, 2916.
2296. I am working on that.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And I remember the patches. How is the work going?
I am testing my code base now. I will send next week a patch about this issue.
Okay. Just sorry for my somewhat of an ignorance. What is the end goal of the ME? I mean, by enabling the capability to support the traffic descriptor ME, what capability are you actually adding to the system? That's maybe my bad in not knowing enough.
I didn't understand. Can you repeat?
I was asking what's the end goal of the functionality of supporting the traffic descriptor ME. I just simply don't know what it does. That's what I'm saying. And if anybody could spend a sentence on what it does, that would be helpful to me.
It would provide upstream rate limiting at ONU.
Yeah, placing and shaping.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure, Oskar? We are speaking about upstream rate limiting or downstream rate limiting?
Actually, we will set two traffic descriptor ME into GEM port. this will be downstream and upstream. This value of rate limit, we will use internal parameters. It will be I get this value into the flow, our flow.
So I did not fully understand. Did you say both downstream and upstream configurations are done with internal values, or did you say one of the direction is configured via RW core? It doesn't matter.
I'm using same value for downstream and upstream.
Okay, and you are using fixed values then?
Yes.
But I think the main point of this change was to ensure some rate limiting for the multicast streams. Am I right? For the multicast downstream frame transfer? No? Okay.
We are not using any traffic descriptor to multicast service.
Okay, so it's for the normal Turk Telecom data flows.
Is it for HSIA?
We are set downstream and upstream traffic descriptor to HSI servers GAM port. And this value, we are using fixed value for this service.
Okay. What does it mean, fixed value?
Some fixed rate limiting.
Oh, so it's not dynamic. You plan to set it once and forget about it. Like every service has a specific rate limiting and that's it.
And there's no configuration for that.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's good. It's good support. Okay. Anything else that I missed that anybody knows that it would be important for the operators to get into 2.8?
Maybe it's not relevant to the operators, but we should, in my point of view, also deal with or insert some tests with the profiling in order to make sure that we don't have any lost memory in the adapter and things are released as wanted. So I think some checks must be done in that direction as well.
That's a very good point, Michael. Absolutely. I think it's very valuable.
That's probably good for all components.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. So I think the profiling support is already there. It just needs to be created as a job and all of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it should be basically supported, but we have never worked with that, so
okay.
The analysis must be started for that.
Okay. I also think some of the soak testing is going to need to be done, right? Keep this up for days and days and days with transactions and failures to understand if it actually is going to work in production over time.
So you mean with the profiling or without the profiling, David?
Well, in general, probably without profiling at that point, because that's going to create too much data. But you want to do a soak test where you're running this up for at least a week.
So we do have
chaos monkey stuff and all that good.
So we do have
checking your memory footprint.
We do have some of that. Before the release, we actually had 15 days of soak testing.
Okay.
Where the system was up on an actual hardware in ONF, and we did some provisioning of subscriber, removing of subscribers. So basic functionality. We didn't introduce any cows monkey stuff, but the initial premises of those soak testing is actually there.
Okay, excellent. And you guys check the memory footprint, how that grows, disk footprint, CPU utilization, have those tracked over the time?
I think some of those measurements are not taken as of today. Theo, do we take those or not?
Not in an automated way.
Okay.
Yet. And I just wanted to point out that there is no proper like cows monkey.
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
But we have a test that goes and kills container and then checks that everything is still working.
Okay.
So it's not a complete chaos monkey because we know which container is going to go down. But we are doing some restart testing.
It's a limited chaos monkey.
Let's
controlled
say,
chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos, yes.
But there is some of that, and it has been done with the 2.7 code base. So it's actually part of the 2.7 release. It's actually up on Jenkins. If you want to take a look at that, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, even if you saw like the starting and ending memory footprints and disk footprints of all the components, that would be very useful.
One thing that we have seen is that we need to put some storage constraints on the pod, because basically if you run at info level for more than a week, then you basically fill up with logs the space, and then Kubernetes start randomly killing pods.
Well, when you're running the soak test, what log level are you on?
So we start.
But the first time we run with info,
yeah.
But that will mean that once a week Kubernetes will complain about limited resource and start picking pods.
The big ones that were killed were the RW core, and I think it would also the ONU adapter was killed once due to info level logs.
Yeah, but that's pretty much random. You cannot control which one Kubernetes is gonna kill.
Yeah, I would think in production we're going to be running either in warning or error mode, right?
That's
for the log
so
level.
That's what we did. For the soak testing that I was talking about, David, we moved it to warn level. Even at warn level, there were some repeating logs that we will have to analyze if they are actually something that is worth having at warn level or things like that. We have not yet done that analysis. But we were happy with the result for the 2.7 release. Let's put it this way.
Oh, excellent. I'll go search on Jenkins because I'd love to see those results. But excellent, thank you.
There is a Volta soak. If you want more details, I think the best person is Suchitra. She was the one that set up the tests and actually ran some of the container and things like that. So if you want more details, I would say ping her and get some info from her.
Yeah, will do. Thanks.
No problem. Okay. Yeah, and okay. Anything else, either in functionality or in tests that you guys think that should be considered as part of the 2.8 release?
Basically, you have already mentioned it, but maybe it's not a point in your 2.8 features yet. So I think we still have some post 2.7 work for the reconciliation cases. The thing that we have discussed before concerning the, for example, also the RW core device reason reconciliation state, and things that might be improved based on that for the ONU adapter.
Okay.
And there was also, I think there was a kind of workaround solution for the latest reconcile problems in the ONU adapter, which should be improved in the implementation. So there was a kind of timer implementation for that that should be done. more bound to the real state transitions of the ONU adapter. So there are some small things left over from 2.7. Don't know if you want to mention, but there's at least some work to do still.
Let's put it as use of reconciling state in the roadmap, and we know what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because the reconciling state patch also starts to introduce the state being set by the core, not just the adapter. So that's going to be a bigger discussion around that.
Okay. Chip, do you have anything on the OMCI lib Go that it's worth mentioning here?
Probably not. I mean, I'm gonna have limited time over the next 3 months, and that's why I just mentioned that I want to see if we can do limited extended frames.
Okay.
And one thing that is also left open from 2.7 is the problem that we had with the sequence of flow configuration from RW core to the adapter.
Yes.
So that was left open, and we wanted to have a look at that. I don't know if we really do it in the 2.8, but perhaps we should try.
Yes, indeed. As I said, I think here, just as my personal opinion, I would like to wait for Girish to come back before we even start considering this issue, because he was the one that implemented it on the OLT adapter, and I think he knows best what would be the possible implementation and solution for this adapter. And so I don't think it's, given that we have found workarounds and we have seen it working for the 2.7 releases, I don't think it's of paramount importance to start working on this right now. Maybe we get some of the other stuff done, and then we come back to this one as soon as we have Girish back and we have prepared the analysis of if it is even possible and if we even want it in the 2.7 release. 2.8 release, sorry, that's not it.
Another thing that could be quite interesting for the operators is that we still do not support performance counters or flying counters, at least for the OMC communication channel itself. But you have already quite a lot of features here, so I'm not sure if that 2.8 or maybe also a later release.
Okay, yes, this one, what I'll do is that I will coordinate and ask about this performance monitoring. This is my topic. I will have to get to the guys at the operators, actually, operations team, to see and make sure that this is what they look for and we're not missing anything. Given that 2.8 will be LTS, it's more, we kind of need to be sure. So I'll try to talk to both Paul Wagner at Deutsche Telekom and possibly like Burak or somebody else at the Netzetter Telecom to get their assurance that we're not missing any PM, and maybe if they also want this OMCI communications channel or not.
Mm-hmm. And that reminds me of another topic that Chip has brought into the system, but I think it was not finished. At least I haven't seen that something was done in this respect. We wanted to, or there was the intention to change the OMSI message type from the OLT to the adapter to, I don't remember, to another type.
Yes, I think that's a minor change. I mean, it's just a very minor change.
Yeah, I think that's already implemented, I believe.
It's implemented from the Python ONU adapter and from the ONU adapter Go, but I do not know if it is implemented from the OLT adapter now.
Oh, okay. And then the Tibet adapter, I know I'm using it, so.
So I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna put that one. It's a small task. I'm not gonna add it in here, but it's I get the importance of it.
The reason why I was mentioning it is if you intend to make that change sooner or later, then perhaps you should inform also the Atran OLT adapter in development, or I could do it as well, so that they could do that already in their release 2.7 implementation. Because basically they now take the OLT, the general OLT adapter code from 2.7, and that change is of course not in 2.7 yet. So if we do not request that as a specific extension beyond 2.7, then it's not in the April release.
Okay.
So just make your request and a decision on that, and I think that should be no real issue or effort for them. You just have to know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take.
I don't know, Chip. Did you try to make some further tests on your OMSI analyze?
Yeah, I'll go check. I'll check that. I'm pretty sure OpenOLT and the ONU handle that, but let me check on the status of that in 2.7 and follow up on Slack today.
Okay.
With respect to OpenONU Go, OpenONU OLT.
Okay.
And anyway, we have discussed already some for possible further features after the 2.6 release. They are already mentioned some lines below as further features or something like that. So
yes. So those. So these I don't think we need this in 2.8. I think we don't need any of this in 2.8. That's my take. Also because some of it might be already done. The multi-uni support, that's also something that might fit in. It's not the DPU related one. It's just multi-uni on ONTs. So again, let's just leave it there for now. There's already a big list here.
No, Andrea, the support of the DPU is really something different than the support of multi-UNI UNUs, because their specific requirement comes up to configure the management channel for the DPU. And this is something, a specific task.
Okay. Okay. That was, I think, all for today. Sorry, no, not this one. This one. That was all for today. You guys have anything else that you want to bring up as a topic while the group is here? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Chip. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say nothing for me, but
okay.
I'm good.
Then we get 8 minutes back, and thanks everybody for participating. I guess we already have some of the stuff that we can work on during these initial days of the 2.8 release. If I don't hear from all of you in the next few days, have a good Easter weekend. enjoy your family time if you can spend it with them. And for those of you anywhere else, just happy weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
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 Bye.